Hey guys, it's Casera, and today I'm going to be doing my September week 1 reading vlog. So before we start talking about books, I just really wanted to quickly update you guys really quick. So those of you who don't know, I live in Central Florida and Hurricane Dorian is now a Category 5 storm, still heading west. It's expected to make a northward turn and miss the state, but my house is still like within the cone of uncertainty, and with storms, you never know where they're gonna go. So I'm gonna be actually leaving and going to the West Coast to stay with my parents for a couple of days, just in case. My county's currently in a tropical storm watch, so if you see like different backgrounds than what you're seeing now, that is why. So now for the books that I'm currently reading. So the first book I'm currently reading is The Ember Blade, which is an ebook that I have, and I've been really enjoying this book. I haven't gotten a chance to pick it up over the last couple of days just because I haven't gotten a chance to pick up any physical books / ebooks, because you still have to read them as you would a physical book. This is a high fantasy book that was recommended to me by some of my subscribers. So far, it seems to be about two best friends. They live in a kingdom called Ossia that has recently been taken over by the Croden, and one of the friends is kind of the upper class who really kind of look up to the Croden and take on all their customs and things like that, and the other one is from sort of a lower class, but they're friends and they have an interesting relationship, and I really enjoy it so far. I haven't gotten very far into it, like I said, but I'm definitely hoping to finish this one this week. Hopefully early in the week, because I have a lot of ebooks that I want to try and read this week. The next book that I'm currently reading is The Tiger's Daughter by Arsenault Rivera. I haven't gotten very far into this one either. And this one seems to also be about two friends, which is interesting. The other one, they're both guys. This one, they're both women. I'm starting to see a trend here. I don't know very much about this one other than it's Asian-inspired fantasy, and I'm excited to see what it gives me. It has an interesting writing style that I don't know if I like yet. I don't think I like it, so we'll see how that goes. I'm still very intrigued by this one and excited to see where this goes. This is also one of my books for my book buying ban challenge, which I am trying to finish this week. I only have 2 books left, so hopefully I can read this one and the other one and be done with it. So yes. So because of the hurricane, I've been doing quite a bit of hurricane prep. So I haven't had time over the last couple of days since my last reading vlog to do any physical sitting and down and reading. So I've been listening to audiobooks instead. And as you guys probably know, because my reading wrap up is going to be coming out soon, I read a lot of audiobooks last month, like a lot of audiobooks, to the point where I just started reading random audiobooks towards the end of the month. So I decided to just pick up like the next audiobooks that I would read. They were available at my library, so I just went ahead and did it. And I wanted something that was easy, that I know I could enjoy quickly without really having to like think about it too much. So of course I picked up the Fits in the Fool trilogy. I am vlogging this one separately, so you guys will see this separately. I did finish the second book in the trilogy yesterday though, Fool's Quest, which was amazing. And the way that it ends, like, I don't know how you cannot just continue on with the next one. I mean, if the book wasn't out yet, then yes. But yeah, the way this one ends, you can't not continue on, because this one picks up right where this one left off. I'm currently reading Assassin's Fate, which is the last book in the realm of the Elderlings, which makes me really sad. But at the same time, it's really good, and I'm determined to enjoy it and not be sad that it's over. So yes. Really enjoying this so far, and Fool's Quest was fantastic, and I gave it 5 stars. So in an hour or so, I'm going to be driving to the West Coast to spend a couple of days at my parents' house because they are not expected to be affected by the hurricane. So yeah. So it's Thursday, September 5th, and I have been horrible at vlogging this week, like really bad at it. Whenever I'm at my parents' house, I just feel really awkward vlogging like over there, so I just don't do it, or like I don't do a lot, and I've been there pretty much all week. I also don't read as much when I'm at their house than when I'm here. I didn't make a whole lot of progress on like anything this week. Ooh, let me get some coffee. I did make a teeny bit of progress on The Tiger's Daughter. I'm right about there. I don't know if you saw my vlog last week where I started The Tiger's Daughter. Really didn't enjoy the writing style. Nothing has changed. I still really don't enjoy the writing style. I'm hoping that the plot will pick up a little bit and I'll be able to stop thinking about the writing style, but it's a little difficult for me to read right now. I really wish I had the audiobook of this one right now so that I can, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll do what I did with An Unkindness of Magicians and read it out loud to myself, so that'll make me stop thinking about the writing. We'll see. I'll try that and I'll let you guys know how that feels, because right now I'm struggling with the writing in this one. I have a feeling it could be a really good story, but the writing is really frustrating me. By the way, in case you're wondering, it's not just like the second person point of view writing that's frustrating for me. That is very frustrating, especially since the character who's talking to the other character keeps like explaining things to the other character that the other character should already know. So it's kind of like, why are you explaining this? Why is this in second person point of view in the first place? It doesn't make any sense. It's also frustrating because a lot of the language it uses is really vague, so I'm having difficulty picturing what it's trying to convey. So there's that also. But like I said, I'm still really intrigued by the story, so I'm hoping that it continues. Because like there was one scene in particular that I really loved. I didn't like the way it was portrayed, but what actually happened in the scene I really loved. So I want to like this book. I really want to like this book, so I'm hoping that I can get over the whole annoyed with the writing part. So the next book that I did make a little bit of progress on also was The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. I was really tired when I picked up this one. Like I said, when I'm at my parents' house, I read a lot less. So I read like one book a night, and it was like maybe like 30 minutes to 40 minutes. So it wasn't even that long either, with one exception, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, so I picked up The Ember Blade. I'm enjoying the story. I just want it to like go faster, you know what I mean? It is one of those like really slow starts, which I generally don't mind in like the later books in the series, because by then I already know the characters and all of that, and I just enjoy being with the characters. It's right now, I don't know the characters that much, so I'm waiting for like the story to start. And there's some action going on, but I'm not sure exactly where this story is going yet. So I feel like once I figure out like what direction the story is going in, which I have an idea, then I'll really like it. But as of right now, I haven't gotten to the point yet where I figured that out yet. So I'm just kind of like teetering on the edge of, am I gonna like this or not? Like, you know what I mean? So that's why I've been reading that one a little bit slower also because it's an ebook and I don't enjoy ebooks that much. But yes, so that's that. I also decided to finally pick up The Unkindest Tide by Shauna McGuire. I only read the first chapter. Like, I picked up the first chapter and it was kind of like a breath of fresh air. I think part of it is that it's not high fantasy, which I've been so heavily engrossed in high fantasy for so long now that it was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is different. This is more contemporary. This is easier to read. It was nice. I enjoyed it. I love Shauna McGuire's writing style. The first chapter was literally just summary of the previous 12 books, which, you know, considering I haven't read the previous 12 books, is very helpful to me. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I do think that it's one of those books you should read the other books first, just because they sound really interesting from the summary that I got from chapter 1. But we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I'll end up really liking it. It involves cell keys, so I'm excited for it. Yeah, and I really like the tone. I really like the tone and the atmosphere, and I think that's just because it's Shauna McGuire. But yes, really enjoyed it so far. So the book that I actually made quite a bit of progress on is, of course, Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb. I'm vlogging this one separately, so I'm not going to go too much into detail here. But this is by far my favorite book by her. Definitely my favorite book by her. I think this trilogy, the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, is my favorite trilogy by her. Like, it would be the Fitz and the Fool, then the Live Ship Traders, then the Tawny Men, then the Farseer. I would put Farseer after Tawny Men, and then lastly, the Rainwell Chronicles. I think part of that is because I was just so hyped for the Rainwell Chronicles after the Live Ship Traders, and it's kind of a letdown after the Live Ship Traders. It's still really good. So if you've only read like Farseer, like, it gets better. trust me, like a lot better. And I loved the ending of the Farsi trilogy. Like I think I gave the last book 5 stars. So like it was a really good trilogy overall, but this trilogy just like blows all of the other ones out of the water. Maybe not Live Ship Traders. Actually, maybe Live Ship Traders also. The beginning of the Live Ship Traders was really good, but the ending I didn't like that much. But I've loved The Fits and the Fool all the way through. Like, so good. Like, this is the closest I've come to tears all year, was in this book, which is crazy because I like never cry. And if I do cry or get close to it, it's usually like in my historical fiction, like, you know, Holocaust books or like contemporary books that are like tragic contemporary books. But oh my gosh, this is literally the closest I've come all year, and I absolutely loved it. Like, so good. I'm not even done with this book yet. Yeah, I have like 7 hours left of the audiobook, but like I already feel like I'm done, but there's 7 hours left, which makes me happy because I want to drag out this ending as much as I can, which is why I'm vlogging right now and not listening to the audiobook, because I had to take a break from it. But yes, so good. I also have to finish it soon because I have Sword of Destiny, the audiobook, is gonna expire in like a couple of days, and I really want to get to it before it expires. It's a loan from my library, so I want to finish Assassin's Fate, the audiobook, so that I can start Sword of Destiny. I think if I don't finish Assassin's Fate by like tomorrow evening, I'm gonna start Sword of Destiny just so that I can finish it before I have to return it to the library, because I really want to read that one. Like, I really want to read it, but I have to return it, and I don't want to return it. And I'm still on my book buying ban right now, or else I would totally just buy the book. Like, I have it in my Amazon cart ready to go for when I'm off my book buying ban. But The Tiger's Daughter is so slow. Oh, yes. And I still have to read The Art of War. So yeah, that's taking a while, but we'll see how that goes. Wow, this is a long entry. Anyways, I'll try to get a little bit more reading done over the next couple of days, and I'll check in with you guys later. It's Friday, September 6th, and last night I did make quite a bit of progress on The Tiger's Daughter. Not that much, still quite close to the beginning, but I did mention yesterday that I was gonna try reading the book out loud to myself. So this really helps me out with books that there's something about the book that I don't like, but I'm intrigued by other aspects that I really want to read the book because of that. It was last year that I found this method to get through books that there were things that about it that like really frustrated me, specifically with A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I really wanted to give A Court of Mist and Fury a try, but A Court of Thorns and Roses was just like super boring to me. So I read it out loud to myself, and because of that, I was able to get through A Court of Thorns and Roses and get to A Court of Mist and Fury. And then earlier this year, a couple weeks ago actually, and a couple vlogs ago, I did the same thing with An Unkindness of Magicians. Unlike A Court of Thorns and Roses, I actually really liked the story of An Unkindness of Magicians. I just had difficulty with the way it was written. So reading it out loud, like, it took my attention away from the writing, and like it took too much brain power for me to critique the story, that I was just dived into it, and I could just, I don't know, I could just relax my mind and take in the story without trying to critique anything, basically. And I ended up really enjoying An Unkindness of Magicians because of that. For my third attempt at The Tiger's Daughter, I decided to try this method to see if I would like it more, and I did really enjoy it. I read 2 chapters. I'd only planned to do 1 chapter, and the first chapter turned out to be like super long. Like, it was like a 40-page chapter. And then the next chapter was like a 4-page chapter. So I saw the next chapter. It was from the other person's perspective. So I was like, okay, I kind of want to do 2 chapters to see if I like both perspectives this way, and I actually really do. I really enjoyed reading it that way, and I got really into the story because the plot here is really good. Like, I'm very intrigued by the plot and the mysteries of what's going on. It's literally just the writing that I don't like. By doing it this way, I don't notice the writing as much. Like, I do notice it occasionally. There are a few times where I'm just like, oh, why did you make that choice? But overall, I really enjoyed it a lot more when I was reading it out loud to myself. So I'm going to continue doing that with this book. It takes a lot longer for me to read the book that way than just reading it, because I have to like form the words, and like some of the like names and stuff are really hard to pronounce. So I have to try it like 3 or 4 times before I get it right. And it's a whole process, but it works for me. I enjoyed the book that way. I don't do this often. Like, those 3 books that I mentioned, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and Unkindness of Magicians, and now The Tiger's Daughter are the only books that I've done this for. It actually works out really well. I'm excited to see where this is going because it has a good plot. Like, it has a really good plot, and I'm excited for it. This morning, I finished Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is by far my favorite book in the entire series. Like, it is so, so good. Mind you, I do have a bias towards endings. I love endings, especially good endings that just like take everything, all the little details and all the threads from the previous books and wraps them up so well. There were so many things at the end of like the Live Ship Traders trilogy that I was just like, but this and this and this, and then like Assassin's Fate just wraps up everything so, so well, and I really enjoyed it. And from like the Tiny Man trilogy and the Rainwall Chronicles, like all of them. Oh, even from the Farseer trilogy, there was something that was said in the Farseer trilogy that I was just like, I cannot wait till I see that happen in the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. And it happened, and it was great, and I loved it so, so much. Definitely my favorite book by her so far, and I really hope Robin Hobb like writes more. I don't know. There's the Soldier Sun trilogy, which I will be getting to probably next year. I've heard is not as good as the Realm of the Elderlings, but like, I feel like with each trilogy, with the exception of the Rainwall Chronicles, which each book she like grew as a writer. Like, I might have to do like an entire video on just like the best and the worst of the Realm of the Elderlings, because there's so much good in this series that I just absolutely love it. It's like one of my favorite series of all times now. But like, I did have a lot about these books that I wish there was more of. So I think I might do a video on that. Let me know down in the comments if you're interested in watching something like that. I would definitely do it spoiler free, so for those of you guys who haven't read this series, which is probably a lot of people, you could still watch the video, but absolutely, really, really loved Assassin's Fate. So, so good. And I did finish my vlog for that one, so that one should be coming out soon, probably after this vlog, so look out for that one as well. Since I finished my audiobook, I'm gonna have to pick up a new audiobook, and I'm super excited because I'm gonna be picking up Sword of Destiny. I have to finish it over like the next 2 days because I have to return it to the library, so I'll be focusing on that one mainly. But I'm really excited for it, like super, super excited for it. I loved The Last Wish, which is like the series of short stories that comes before Sword of Destiny in the Witcher series, and I'm really excited to continue on with this series. So yes, super, super excited for Sword of Destiny. That's all I have for you guys right now, and I'll check in with you guys later. Okay, I'm officially done with The Tiger's Daughter. No, I did not finish it. I got to page 171, and I really tried with this book. Like, I really, really tried. And I got to the point where like I was kind of past the whole writing thing. I can feel the book trying to force this romance on me. It's between two characters. I felt their friendship forced at the very beginning of the book. They were supposed to be friends. They're supposed to be really good friends. But I honestly, it felt really forced to me. Like, I didn't feel like they had that relationship. And then it started to turn that relationship romantic, and I was just like, no. Like, it doesn't work. It wasn't even doing it in a way that felt natural. It just, like, again, it felt forced. That really bothered me. I honestly probably would have continued on if it was like during a section that like had action or something like that. But it was during just like such a really boring section. Like, nothing was happening. And then it got to this part. We're in the letter again because apparently the entire book is written in letter form, and one character is telling the other character about a time that they spent together, and they literally say, oh, I don't have to describe the throne room to you, you know it better than I do. And then it continues on to describe the throne room to her, and I was just like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this for 500 pages. I'm on page 170, and like, I'm already super frustrated with this book. So yeah, it's a DNF. It's not going to continue being on my TBR. Like, this will probably be an unhaul in my next unhaul video because I'm just that frustrated with this book right now. I don't have, like, there's nothing about this book that I actually ended up like really loving. Like, I don't care for any of the characters. There's some interesting mystery and plot to it, but it's overpowered by this romance that seems very forced to me. It's not even romantic yet. But even just like the friendship seems very forced to me, and that's not working. So I DNF'd it at 30%, and I didn't want to DNF this book. Like, I really didn't want to do it. Like, I can't force myself to read it. On a better note, I did start Sword of Destiny. I'm 5.5 hours in, and it's so good right now. Like, it's short stories, which I didn't expect to like as much as I am liking them. Because I did really enjoy the first one, but I also really like the threads that were happening in the first book of the Witcher series, like, they're continuing on in the second one. So like, Yes, it's short stories, but it's part of a larger tale, which makes me happy. It makes me so happy. And of course, I love the writing in the Witcher series. Like, absolutely love the writing. And the audiobook is really well produced. So, really good right now. Like, really, really good. That's all I have for you guys right now. I'm probably gonna pick up another physical book. I don't know what yet. Probably The Art of War, because that's the last book I have left for my book buying ban challenge. So I started The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I don't know where I just shoved it. It's fine. Anyways, this book has about 250 pages in it. So I figured I would read about 50 pages tonight, and then tomorrow I'd read the other 200 pages, and I'd be done with this book, and I would be done with my book buying ban, and I would finish it this week, and I'd be really happy. The first 50 pages is The Art of War without commentary. The last 200 pages is The Art of War with commentary. So I read the first 50 pages, so I read The Art of War, and I really don't feel like it's necessary for me to read it twice. So I finished The Art of War, which is what I had planned to do. So I didn't plan to finish this one tonight, but I finished it tonight. It was really interesting. I think this is one that I'm gonna have to reread a couple of times just to like really absorb it. Some of the sections were very specific, and it was just kind of like, when would I ever be in this sort of situation? Because I wouldn't. But at the same time, it was smart. That's like the best way I can put it. Like, you can tell the person who made these comments had actually been in those situations and understood what they all felt like and what to do in those situations. So I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it. And then like the ending, while some of it just doesn't apply to us anymore, like there's a section that's like fighting with fire or something like that. Obviously back then, their only real weapon was fire. We have a lot of weapons now, so it's a bit different now, but at the same time, there's like some of like the stratagem and stuff like that is still very useful to like competition sort of people today. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it 4 stars. Like, it's kind of a weird book to rate because what are you really rating? You know what I mean? It's a nonfiction book, and it's not like a nonfiction story. It's like a nonfiction informational sort of book. I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed reading it. I didn't absolutely love it, but I enjoyed reading it, so I'm giving it 4 stars. And that means I'm done with my book buying ban challenge. You have no idea how happy that makes me. Like, so happy right now. You know what this means though, guys? It means I'm gonna go buy some books. I have a cart on Book Outlet right now that I've just been adding to like ever since the book buying ban started. It kind of felt like shopping without actually shopping because I never hit buy. I'm gonna go through that cart and see what's still available because I doubt all of it's still available. I'm gonna go buy some books. And there's also a bunch of books that I've been meaning to buy for the longest while that I'm definitely gonna get to that are not on that cart. Like, for example, Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. I've been wanting to buy that book forever. Like, forever. It was on one of my previous TBRs and I didn't get to it because I had to return the library book and I didn't have the physical book, and that made me really sad. But yes, anyways, I'm excited. I'm so excited. You have no idea. And I did really enjoy the book buying ban. I might do like a wrap up of the challenge because I feel like I was pretty successful in this challenge. Like, I read 28 out of the 30 books, and the other 2 books I did really try hard to read, but they were like legitimate DNFs that I don't think I'm gonna end up reading anyway. So. Let me get this right. Okay, we're good. Okay, so it's Saturday, September 7th. I wanna do like a reading day today. I haven't been reading pretty much all week. Like, I've been doing tons of other stuff and I just want a relaxed day. I have to go to work tomorrow, so like I just want an easy day today. I've done pretty much everything that I've had to do this week. Like, I've done all my errands, all of that. I'm gonna dedicate today to reading. It's been a while since I've done like a 24-hour readathon or anything like that, so that's what I'm planning to do today. I'm just in the mood to pick up a physical book right now, which is kind of an issue because I don't have any more physical books on my TBR. My TBR, the rest of the books, I have either the audiobook for and the physical book, which I had planned to listen to the audiobooks for those books, or they're ebooks. I have a lot of ebooks on my TBR this month, and I'm just not feeling the ebook game right now. I decided to pick up something that's not on my TBR. I decided to pick up Sorcery of Thorns. I've been wanting to read this since I got it in the Owl Crate box, which I think has to be like June or something like that. So it's been a couple of months. And recently, this one has gotten a lot of hype. So I've just been itching to read this, and I haven't been putting it on any TBRs just because I know I won't have time for it. I'm finally gonna pick this one up. I'm excited for it. I've heard really great things about it. So we'll see how this goes. So first of all, I did start Sorcery of Thorns. I'm very intrigued by this. It seems very interesting because it's about grimoires, and the grimoires can do things. I'm very intrigued by this, but I made myself put it down, and that's just because I have 5 ebooks, something like that I really want to read before the end of next week, which is a lot to get to in just 1 week because I was supposed to read 2 of them this week and I didn't. So yeah, I decided that I was gonna pick up one of those instead. So I decided to pick up The Unkindest Tide, which I had already started, by Shauna McGuire. So this is one of the arcs that I got from NetGalley that I've been trying to read. And honestly, I kind of regret switching to the ebook. It's not hard to read, like it's really easy to read. I'm getting through it really quickly. Like I'm 40% of the book. I've read 40% of the book now, but I'm having a lot of issues with it. First of all, it's not the genre that I typically read. I mean, yes, I love fantasy and I love fairies, which is like kind of what this book is about, but it's definitely like urban fantasy, like straight up urban fantasy, which is like my least favorite type of fantasy, if you know what I mean. I don't like the main character. Like I don't like her. So she has a boyfriend, fiance, whatever. And she puts herself in this situation where she's gonna have to risk her life. He kind of gets angry about it. Not fully angry, like he actually supports her and he wants to go with her, but he can't for reasons. She never talked to him about it before she made this decision. She never discussed it with him. He wants to talk to her, but they're like in front of other people and all of that. And she kind of just goes off on him about how it's not his decision to make. Even if they did get married, it wouldn't be his decision to make, which, I mean, sure, but he didn't, like, it's kind of one of those things where like girl power and all of that, because she's not living under her husband's rule, but at the same time, like he doesn't want to lose her, obviously, and he didn't say she couldn't do it. He wanted to talk about it, you know what I mean? So it kind of like, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way that she just went off on him for like 2 paragraphs with that. And that's just fresh in my mind because I literally just finished that chapter. But the entire story, the dialogue has been really annoying me, which is weird because in general, I really like Shauna McGuire's writing style, but I feel like she might be one of those authors that changes her writing style based on the genre that she's writing. The only other books that I've read by her are from the Wayward Children series. I just felt like in that series, the dialogue makes sense and is pertinent to the story. In this one, dialogue 1 is boring as crap. Like, it's so boring. I get just bored reading the dialogue. So like, I kind of skim the dialogue sometimes until I get to a part that is actually pertinent to the plot, because a lot of times they're trying to be funny and it's not. Like, it's just not funny. Or they're just giving us information that they've already given us. So like, I feel like the first 12 novels in this series were summarized like 12 different times. After the first chapter where I got all the information that was basically a summary of the first 12 novels, I didn't need someone to keep repeating all of that to me. The fact that she was turned into a fish for 14 years, I think it was repeated like 7 times already. I get it. She was turned into a fish for 14 years. And this is relevant. Why? Well, it probably is relevant because they mentioned once that now she's scared of water. Except the problem is they told us she's scared of water. I don't actually see her being scared of water though. Like, she went on a ship in the middle of the ocean and she's on this like group of ships right now and she doesn't seem to ever get scared. Like, there is not one moment in which she shows an ounce of fear for water. but somehow she's scared of water because that's what the author wants us to know. I'm having a rough time just buying all of the stuff this story is giving me. Like, the world building is interesting, but at the same time, it's very tropey. It's very, like, it doesn't seem very original to me at all. October Day, the main character, I liked her at first because she's kind of snarky and stuff like that, but she kind of crosses that line from snarky to arrogant at times, which really annoys me. As for the, like, plot of the book, I honestly don't know yet. The setup of it seems really simple, but, like, things are happening that was unexpected, if that makes sense. So we'll see how the plot goes, because it could be interesting. But as of right now, the characters are annoying to me. I really don't like their dialogue. The world is okay. I mean, writing-wise, other than all of the summary and the repeating of information that I already know, I actually do enjoy Shauna Maguire's writing style, and it's very quick. So, like, even though it summarizes things and repeats things over and over again, it moves on really quickly so that it keeps my attention, if that makes sense. It's 50-50 for me right now. We'll see if I end up really liking it or not. But as of right now, there's a lot of it that is kind of frustrating to me. So it's Saturday night and I finished Sword of Destiny by Andrej Sapkowski. It was so good. I really loved, especially the last two short stories in the collection were really, really good, and I really, really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. I cannot wait to get to Blood of Elves, which is like the first like actual novel in the Witcher series. I'm so excited for it. Getting to it in October. I have it on hold at my library. Actually, now that my book buying ban is done, I might be able to actually just buy the book. I might do that. Actually, I'm probably gonna do that. But I have the audiobook on hold at my library, and you know I like to go between the audio and the physical book. I'll still be reading it in October, and I'm super, super excited for it. So it's getting pretty late, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off on this vlog. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books, because I would love to discuss it with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I post videos frequently on this channel, so consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.